The last thing Cale Miller saw was dust. Not the gentle dust of an old book or a forgotten attic, but the primordial, choking dust of a world being ground back into nothing. It was the color of despair, a uniform, soul-crushing gray that had long since swallowed the sky, the sun, and any memory of the color blue. It filled his lungs, a gritty paste that grated with every ragged breath. His world had been reduced to this, the taste of pulverized rock and the ceaseless, low-frequency tremor that vibrated through the cracked concrete floor, a death rattle from the planet itself. He was in the heart of Bastion, humanity's last desperate sanctuary, buried 2 kilometers deep within the granite heart of the Sierra Nevada. It had been his magnum opus, a marvel of geological engineering designed to withstand the tectonic fury of the Great Collapse. For a time it had held, for a time it had been a flickering candle in an infinite darkness. Now it was just a tomb. The quake breakers, a series of seismic dampeners he had designed, had finally failed an hour ago. The catastrophic shearing sound of a mountain tearing itself apart still echoed in his memory, a sound punctuated by the screams of his friends and colleagues. Dr. Eris Thorne, the brilliant botanist who had coaxed life from sterile hydroponic trays, was gone, crushed beneath a collapsed aqueduct. Riley O'Connell, his security chief, the stoic ex-Marine who had held the gate against the first waves of desperate, starving hordes, was a crimson smear on a bulkhead somewhere in Sector Gamma. Only he remained, Cale Miller, the architect of the end, the man who had given them 5 years of borrowed time. A fresh tremor, more violent than the last, threw him against a mangled steel console. A sharp pain lanced through his side, and he looked down to see a jagged piece of rebar protruding from his abdomen, a crude, rusty nail in the coffin of his hopes. The pain was distant, an abstract concept. His senses were already shutting down, the world narrowing to a tunnel of gray dust and the faint, blinking red light of a failing emergency beacon. He thought of the Genesis core. The strange, spherical artifact they had found buried in the Antarctic ice a decade before the collapse, a relic of a civilization so ancient it defied comprehension. It had been his partner, his muse, whispering the secrets of advanced metallurgy and geomanipulation into his mind. It was the reason Bastion had existed at all. Now it lay dark and silent on the floor beside him, its internal light extinguished. Even it had given up.